So I'll just leave it there.
Thank you, Kareem. Just two quick, how we all do our jobs around here questions, and then one or two on the president. Why not have Ian Brief in here?
Well, Ian was outside and took your questions.
But why not in here like other government officials?
Again, Ian was outside and took your question, and he's been doing that for the last 4 weeks.
Would the White House have revealed today's search if pool cameras hadn't caught the investigators arriving on scene?
Again, this is a question for the White House counsel's office. I would refer you to them.
Today's perhaps the best example yet of the new era of divided government, when there were Republican oversight hearings being held today into the administration's border security and pandemic policy, president's meeting with the speaker. Can you remind us, what is the level of cooperation or legitimate back and forth you're willing to have with a Republican-led House when they're holding these investigations?
Say that. Say a little bit more, so I understand.
Well, okay. Border security
Yeah.
policy is one thing. Pandemic policy, how money was spent, is another. What does the White House consider to be the kind of oversight and inquiries from congressional committees that you're willing to engage in, and what is not?
So look, as it relates to the Oversight Committee, and I've said this many times before, look, we're willing to work with Republicans, House Republicans, on important priorities that matter to the American people, like lowering costs for Americans, as they said was really important going into the midterm elections. That's what we want to focus on. We want to focus on the priorities that matter to the American people. We're not interested in engaging in political stunts, and we want to move past the constant political warfare, as we continue to see from Republicans, sadly. And again, let's not forget, when Americans went out to vote in the midterms, they said they wanted to see less of that. They actually wanted to see bipartisanship. As it relates to any specifics to the Oversight Committee, I would refer you to my colleagues at the White House counsel's office.
There was a local news report that various versions of the so-called beast that the president is driven around in don't include the taxation without representation license plates that Presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama used and Presidents Bush and Trump did not. Is there any reason for that, or does the president plan to start using them on the beast?
So I saw some of those some of that reporting. You have I know you have a look. You just looked over at Mary. Mary looked over to you, and I don't know what's happening. But look, I have to run that down as to the beast and why it may not have those plates. But what I can tell you, and the president's been very consistent since the campaign, that we strongly support the D.C. statehood, and that has not changed. But I'll run that down to see about the plates on the beast.